Hey guys, Trigger Happy John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. Today's video is going to be a special one where we grab the one and only Darth microtransaction. We invite him on the channel because what we're going to talk about is something very important. We're going to talk about what is required to be spent at the beginning of playing the game, if it's going to be truly pay to win, how much we expect to spend, basically all the nitty gritty that is really making this Diablo Immortal, the monetization note of it, whether it's going to be super heavily monetized or if it's going to be something where even the free-to-play friendly can just go with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we are joined with Darth Microtransaction. I'm sure you guys have seen all of his videos. If you have not, you need to go subscribe to him. Go watch him. He does great, amazing content. So he's going to be the one-stop shop for all the resources that are Diablo Immortal. All right, DM, thank you very much for joining me on the channel today. I appreciate it. I wanted to talk to you about, me and you, we're kind of whales when it comes to mobile games. However, those are gacha games. Now we're going to transition over to this hybrid AARPG. What's your thought on the whole spending money thing?
Well, I think that they're very different genres, and the money that you're going to spend goes to different things. Like typically in gachas, the money you spent is on acquiring heroes so that you can take those heroes to play with. And in this game, it's going to be spent on modifying the one hero that you basically are grinding infinitely. I mean, I think that's kind of why people like Diablo is you're just getting one hero stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yep. No, I definitely. So glad you bring that up. That's definitely the major difference between, obviously, our gacha collectors. We're like, yeah, we got to catch them all, and this game where it's going to be one character and it's just the grind, right? So because of this, we're going to have some skill that goes along with this, other than just whatever, how much money we can spend on the game, right?
Unfortunately, you can't buy your way through everything. Unfortunately.
You mean we can't just dual wield credit cards and make this work? That's
Yeah,
not a thing?
doesn't seem like. I mean, it seems like you could definitely dual wield credit cards. I'm not saying you can't dual wield credit cards. I'm just saying that, dual wielding credit cards is not the only thing we're gonna have to do in this game in order to get to the top.
All right. I guess we'll have to actually try, and we have to show off those pro gamer moves, right? Pro gamer moves.
Fortunately, yes, we'll be stretched a little bit to our skill level on top of it. Yeah.
Nice. So, since us being us and being like kind of like the whales, so to speak, and spending, like, we're known for spending a lot of money on these mobile games, right? Like because just our personalities, the way we play, and that's our dopamine, right?
Yeah.
How do you foresee spending money on Diablo Immortal? Now, is it something like, are you taking the same approach, like shotgun approach, of like, let's buy it all and just get stocked up? Or like, what's going to be your approach, Darth?
So there's multiple things coming to mind. I think that welling in the beginning is almost always better in mobile games than welling later, in terms of if you're trying to jump up on the scoreboard, only being because one, there's less people that will play like day one. I mean, the community will grow smaller. I mean, there's probably going to be more people the first week than any other time of the game for sure. But the amount of people that are playing like competitively in the beginning is typically lower because people are like figuring out the game. So you can rush ahead at like all the normal players, get to the end game a little bit quicker, typically with welling in these games. I mean, that's what happens in gachas and all these other things. The difference is this game is, I think, a little bit more of a mix where we're going to have knowledge. You're going to have team play in particular. And if we want to hold Immortal, let's just say we can get the Immortal. Okay, let's just say we can get it. It's going to take 3 weeks minimum till we know it launches. It's going to be approximately 3 weeks. It'll launch on Sunday. When it launches, the first competition is against NPCs in order to actually take the Immortal, but you have to prove to be the guy to get to there, right?
Yep.
So we're still going to have to beat our way past other players, other Dark Clans, etc. Once we're there, if we're the first people there, I mean, let's say we lose the Immortal ship, it's going to be harder after the first 3 weeks, and then we're going to have to be other people that are getting the defensive bonuses and all those crazy things. It'll be harder than just beating the NPCs. And then if let's say we beat the NPCs originally, and then we're holding it, we're going to have to, eventually we're going to have to beat someone else is going to beat us, and then we're going to have to win our way back. So no matter what, eventually we're going to have to beat other players.
Right.
And because of that, the way I see welling is it almost doesn't matter when you well at this point. I mean, normally in the beginning
Okay.
it would make it a little bit better. And maybe if you well in the beginning of this game, then the power that you've had
Yeah.
earlier will save you some time because you're grinding at a higher level sooner, so you're getting experience at a more
Gotcha.
rapid way, a rate. So I could see that argument to be made. But I mean,
Okay.
either way, I think it's going to boil down to like the people who are playing the most and the people that are
Yep.
spending the most are going to be at the top no matter what. And we're just going to have to wait and see what the competition's like on our server, how many other players are out there, we have
Yep.
300 people or so. They're going to be on the server that we have planned and know by name already. So we'll have a lot of good
Yep.
players, but we don't know. There could be another clan that has 500 that's coming, and all of them have played in the
Exactly.
beta. I mean, we don't know. We
Yep.
could get wiped out. So it's really hard to say. It's going to be a flexible thing. I can tell you, I've gone over my budget and assumed by looking at the packs how much money I'll spend the first month, but I can't tell you whether or not it'll be enough.
I mean, is it ever really enough at the end of the day?
And since
But
it's a moving goalpost with these type of games, like you're spending and then the other guy's spending too, and really it's you guys are competing with each other. There's never really
right.
enough. It's prisoner's dilemma, really, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, and that's definitely a fair point. So essentially, so your kind of shotgun approach on it is this, or your overall thought is like we're like Aftershock United, us as a group community, we're gonna try to get Immortal right off the rip, right? So
That's
really,
the plan.
yeah. So we're gonna probably spend a little bit upfront anyways, just to try to get ahead.
Yeah,
But
I
if
would think.
you're not trying to go for like Immortal, it's almost seeming like from the way you're explaining it, kind of the way I'm thinking of it too. It almost doesn't make sense to like full on approach, like shotgun approach, just drop a bunch and spend a lot,
Doesn't
right?
make any sense in the
So
beginning. I mean, if you're
yeah,
the average person, it doesn't make any sense. I think only if you're trying to compete for the actual Immortal spot. And out of everyone, I'm probably stuck in the spot where I'm gonna have to spend the most. Because if
right.
you look at it, there's the 30v1 where the clan leader, your boy of the highest clan, is gonna have to 1v30 people
Yep.
based upon my stats as a raid boss. And so if I'm in that position, assuming we can even get the Immortal and I can wear the cool little crown for a bit, then
Yep.
unfortunately, if I want to hold my spot as basically the well lord, then I'm gonna have to well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably going to be the most disgusting example of pay to win as far as the game goes out of our group, I would think. I mean, that's
Okay.
just the way the math is ending up in the design of the game. I
Yep.
don't want to spend a lot of money. I'd rather save my money. I've given plenty of money to these mobile games over these years.
Right.
But the way that the systems are designed, if we hit him more, though, I'm probably going to be trying to retain it by continuing to well. As far as to answer your question about the average person, this is
Yeah.
all coming from the perspective of like literally trying to be the best person on the server. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the terrible example. So the average person listening to this probably just thinks the game sounds like a pay to win mess. But the reality of it is, I think most people are going to be spending about $15 a month. You're going to buy the battle
Yeah.
pass and you're going to buy the Boon of Plenty, which has got upgraded and increased in price. I believe it's $10 now. And
Okay.
those are going
Yep.
to give you your most rewards. Those will
Yep.
give you the
Right here.
Rift,
Yep.
the Elder Crest, and now the Boon of Plenty gives legendary Elder Crest.
Yep.
So that's going to be where your light spenders are farming like things like your legendary gems, etc. And will instead of blowing through the content, because I think it was Veldshot that did the math and said if you're willing to spend like let's say the richest person on the planet plays the game, if you're
Yep.
willing to spend $30,000 in 13 hours, technically you can max out your gems. If you're willing to spend all of the time and all of the money just in gameplay, that's what it takes, right? But no
Yep.
one's realistically going to do that. Most people are going to spend $15 and then play the game throughout a couple years or something and then quit when they get bored. So
Right.
I think there's maybe going to be a couple outliers where we see people just dump obscene, like absolutely disgusting. I'm not putting tens of thousands of dollars into this game no matter what. It's not happening. But
What do you
there
mean? You're
will
not
be
gonna
examples of
spend this
that.
down here? You're not gonna spend the
No,
4,000?
no, nor do I think you need to. I mean,
Okay.
these numbers
Yes.
are absolutely crazy numbers
Yeah.
just to show you in a theoretical, hypothetical scenario what you could do. And
Yep.
I mean, yeah, the systems are designed in a way where it can definitely get expensive real quick, but that's not my plan by any means.
Yeah.
I will say though, the lists that are above my head are what I plan to purchase,
Yep.
which are these one-time pack offers that will flash up when you beat content. Typically in any mobile game,
Yeah.
these flat fee type things tend to be your best, like the pop-up offers. And most of these are going to include things like Elder Crests and or Elder Rift crests, rare and legendary crests, stuff like
Right.
that. And
Yeah.
materials at a cheaper rate.
Yeah. I feel like these, just like any other mobile game that we play, like as you complete like level up and they offer you those packs, those are usually the most like the most fuck for your buck, anyways. So I know like on my end, like yeah, being a whale and whatnot, I don't know how much I'm gonna have to really go for it. So I mean, I got a little bit of money set aside, but I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try the shotgun approach of like approaching it like a normal like everyday player, just to kind of get the perspective going a little bit to understand like okay, how expensive is the game really going to be, and then move forward because like obviously like you and Chosen and your guys' group are going to be going for to immediately capture the immortal, and then maybe my group can kind of do a little bit something different where we kind of like see what the realistic is, but while grinding a lot, right? Because
Yeah.
we all got the time off. But I feel like these packs that were kind of like these were data mined, I believe, and I feel like if these are the actual packs that we have, like realistically speaking, most of these aren't too outrageous when it comes to pack prices, like most of the mobile games we play, right? Like I think the highest pack here is like Icon of the Worthy for $100, and then for the most part, like 40
Yep.
bucks seems to be the highest, 40 or 50 bucks tops, and that's honestly that's not too awful bad when we're used to what like $100 pop, $60 pop packs in other games,
I mean, I have a way of looking at this, which is in ARPGs,
Mm-hmm.
these stacks are actually pretty standard pricing. Like most of the action RPG pricing I've seen, they like to stay around the 25 to 20, like 26.99 is a big price point for some reason for
Okay.
these, like $28. Like right around the 30 and less dollars for ARPGs seems to be the go-to spot. I mean, in Marvel, there was most of their valuable packs for like 26 to 28 bucks. So that was just what they stuck to, and it kind of seems like they're sticking around the 30, $35 range in this game too. I'll say this, which is that I think the $1 and $2 packs are more
Mm-hmm.
important in terms of having available to people than all these $50 and $100 packs.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. The $50 and $100 packs may technically be good value, but no one ever feels good when you're buying them. The $1 and
No.
$2 packs that have good value, everyone likes $1 packs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's almost no complaining universally in almost any game I've seen about $1 and 2 packs. And typically when people are like, oh, it's only $1, it's $2, like I'm willing
Right.
to support the game with that. And there's not a lot of moaning about, instead of $100 it pops up and it's like I can get the full game Diablo with the expansions, on PC for less than that. And
Right.
so you're going to hear a lot of those comments, which is I can buy all of the Diablo games for the same price that I can get one pack in the mobile game. You'll hear a lot of those comments, and they make a point, which is why I don't really like that there's even these $100 packs to begin with. And I think most
Right.
people are going to be spending $15 a month. I think you're going to see a lot of $5.99 Battle Pass buyers, a lot
Yep.
of $10 Boon of Plenty buyers, and people maybe the dollar and 2 packs you see pop up, the pop-up offers. Other
Yep.
than that, I think there's going to be a huge divide of like low spenders and then absolute whales that come from mobile.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I feel like, I mean, obviously we know like the battle pass in any game is always the best value, and then the boon of plenty. I mean, it just gives you the resources that you need, right? Like that's literally what you need. So it just makes total sense. Like at the end of the day, $20 a month. Well, it'll be a little bit more, right? Because didn't Boone get upgraded to what $9.99, $10 a month, something like that.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
it's $10 from what I understand, and then the battle pass, the
This is
non-empowered version is like
oh
$5.99.
the non
Yeah.
empowered is $5.99. That's right. So
So
yeah, I mean, the
15,
subscription
20
to your
bucks.
Netflix is what you're gonna pay a month. Like I don't know.
It'll be
To
like a
me,
sub fee basically, and I mean the value that you'll get in the $10 to $15 will be infinitely better than just spending $10 or $15 on orbs and using it on crests or whatever. It'll be
yeah,
way better value. So that'll be the majority of the buys.
yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like anyone who's looking at this, the the just orbs pack right here is just gonna be like, yeah, this is not the way to go. I feel like these are just not going to be the way to go moving forward in the game.
The only way
But
those are ever good value is if they have like a one-time 2x purchase where you get
right,
double it for the first buy, which they might do. And I'm sure lots of people are going to try to take advantage if they allow you to spend like your Google Play points, etc. Like I
oh,
got
that's
like
true. Yeah,
20,000 Google Play
yep,
points or whatever saved up, so I've been slowly saving those. So I'm sure people are going to try to spend their points through that too. There's going to be a
yep,
bunch of ways that people will try to finagle their way into figuring out the buys. I'm also interested to see how they handle the beta coverage because I think people are just getting their money back from the beta also.
yep.
And if the price, because there's been some games me and you both have played where when they came out of the beta, the prices went up. So
They
I'm
did.
curious
Yes.
whether or not, I think these
This
data
stays the
mine
same.
shows that it's
Yeah.
not going up. It looks like it's staying the same. But
Yeah, and I agree. Like a lot of these, even the data mine stuff, kind of matches up a lot to what we had from the beta. But I mean, it's always a possibility, right? Because we had this happen. We've had this happen in multiple games, and some games even give you back what you spent on your beta and then some, and then hike up the rates, right?
yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with it. I know. Fortunately, I didn't spend any money on the beta when I played the beta of Diablo Immortal. Now I kind of wish I would have, so that way I already had that little cushion coming back to me. But it's all right. It's all right. We'll figure it out and obviously push through. But no, I'm glad to have your opinion on this because I was very curious. You know, obviously with our backgrounds, because we're coming from a totally different background than Diablo, right? For in-app purchases and stuff like that. So I was really curious what your thought process was going to be, and really wanted to
Well, my
get it
thought
out there.
process is, I feel like it's really hard too, because it's like I think my position does not really, it doesn't speak for the average player, because it's like
Yeah.
I'm in a spot where I'm literally going to be purchasing stuff to make content with. I mean, it's the same thing that like I've done in all these other games. You're going to be doing the same
Oh
thing
yeah.
too. And it's like it's so hard to be like, yes, purchase, spend hundreds of dollars on Diablo. You probably shouldn't. And it, the game will probably be as enjoyable for you if you literally spend no money as if you spend
Right.
money. That's been what the majority of my experience in mobile games have told me. They're just as fun as if you don't spend any money as if you spend money. And a lot of times they can be more fun if you don't spend money, because spending money itself can open a can of worms for you.
Very
So,
true.
it's hard for me to be up here and be like, I'm going to spend $500, $1,000, whatever, right, on the game,
Yep.
and then suggest that to people when it's like, dude, first of all, I get a tax write-it off. Second of all, every now and then people donate $20 here and there and be like, buy a pack for me or whatever, so that
Yep.
it's hard to. It's not like that's happening to the average person either. And then
Exactly.
on top of it, like I have to 30v1 ever since we found that out in the Q&A. It's like now I know I have to 30v1 as the clan leader. It's like, dude, that means
Yep.
I have to have like the most ridiculous stats ever. So I'm put in a very unique position here,
True.
and we'll have to see what it does to my hairline as time goes on.
I know you don't want to be losing those luscious locks here, but
Put a lot of work into this, man. Can't be
I know,
losing it.
I know. We can't be losing. Like we're gonna go hard. So I guess at the end of the day, guys, what we're trying to tell you is from our perspective, it's a little different because we are trying to compete and go massive. But I think Darth and I both agree that like whether you whale at the beginning, you whale later on, the ones that are really going to be doing a lot of the whaling and really pushing super hard in the game are the ones that are just trying to compete for like the number one spot. It's not going to
Yeah.
be, it's not spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on day one is not going to really benefit you like tremendously compared to if you're just trying to play the game and have fun. Because at the end of the day, it's an ARPG, it's a Diablo franchise that you get to grind and play with your friends on
Plus,
both
stuff
mobile
keeps
and
getting
PC.
nerfed, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff can get nerfed is the other thing. Like, I mean, we know
yeah,
this from playing mobile games. Mobile games get rebalanced a lot, often,
yep.
and with big rebalances. I mean, way more than PC games. Okay,
Oh yeah,
so if you are at all thinking about like I'm going to go $5,000 to be the best in the world, it's like maybe wait,
yeah,
because
maybe.
I mean, you could spend all that money on gyms. You could max out the gyms. Just watch somebody like me do it, and then watch how much money we lose when those
Yep,
gyms get turned into dust. You know what I mean? And become like bottom tier. Like it will
yep,
happen to somebody. And it's never worth it on launch for mobile games. Like
yep,
save your money. If I had to have a message after this, buy the Boon of Plenty, buy the Battle Pass, then power it if you want the cosmetics, and then just play the
yep,
game. Just play the
yep.
game.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think, you know what? I think that's a great closing remark because honestly, at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, play the game, spend within your means. That's the message, guys. Spend within your means. And
Or
yeah,
don't spend it all. Just go free to play. I mean,
that's
just
right.
try it for. You can always spend later. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? But you can't ever withdraw.
100%. All right. Well, Darth, thank you very much for coming on the channel. I think we had a good conversation, a good, it put some things in perspective on both sides of things. And yeah, thanks so much for coming on and hanging out. You gonna
Yeah,
let
of
them know
course.
where to find you, man? I know you're gonna be going super hard on this. So where are you gonna be at? What are you doing?
I mean, you can catch me on YouTube at DM Diablo Immortal for Diablo, and then Darth Microtransaction on Twitch, and I'll be live probably entirely too much, I would assume.
All right, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and go check out our friend Darth here, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.